Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
You know, it sounds so simple. Just setting up a remote location and doing a broadcast from a different spot. Bo's in Fayetteville. I'm with a basketball team in Miami. And then you start trying to put all this together and make sure it all works. And I'm dealing with some of that right now, even as we speak. So it's nice to be here, though. Good to be with you, Bo. It's warm in Miami.
It is. Jameis Winston sends his regards. If you missed what he had to say after the game last night, it's maybe the quote of the year.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
And we're just praying for technical difficulties to not exist. So, we got some
what we're praying for,
similar things happening with where we are in the world today, Chuck. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be with you.
How's
guys.
Miami this morning? You got an hour extra sleep, didn't you? Eastern time?
Well, I don't know. But, the clock changes, and theoretically, yes, you have an extra hour of sleep. But what I also know is that, you still have to get up and go. It still seems a little bit early, but it's light here, so a little after 7 o'clock in the Eastern time zone.
So, yesterday, we've been talking about this for a while now, Sam Pittman returning, and we thought he would, and we thought he wasn't going anywhere and all that, which, by the way, he's having his hip surgery today. It wasn't yesterday. But then national college football.
I would imagine it's happening now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a morning kind of deal, right? And then I don't know how quickly he's going to be back.
I would imagine he's there.
Yeah.
I would imagine he's there now.
That's underway, but the announcement sort of gained some traction yesterday. Still nothing official from the school, but we have these college football reporters now saying that Sam Pittman's coming back for the 2025 season. And this obviously set off, a bit of a reaction on social media. And I'm kind of interested to hear how fans feel about it today. Again, no official word, but that certainly seems to be the case. And now we're starting to see players say they're staying or entering the transfer portal. So you got a couple of guys saying they're staying. Cam Ball, Sorey, who was the leading tackler on the team, they're staying. Malachi Singleton says he's entering the transfer portal. So here we are, day 2 of this, what you really dubbed one of the most important weeks in Razorback football in a long time. And that's sort of the tracker on that at the moment. And I imagine if we're going to get more of this, kind of day by day, like the Petrino thing is still apparently a thing of him maybe going to Charlotte. We'll see how that unfolds. I did see, I believe Nebraska's defensive coordinator is going to Florida State to be the DC there. So that takes one of the vacancies that Travis Williams' name was being mentioned for. But it's going to be an interesting week one way or the other with Razorback football.
I think yesterday was a good day, and I'll tell you why. First off, the news that Sam Pittman's staying really is old news. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, and it's amazing how one national guy or one or two national guys say it, and all of a sudden, well, that's the way it is. The national guys are saying it. We've known this for a while. Why I think yesterday was a good day was because they kept Xavier Sorey and they kept Cameron Ball. And don't think there weren't teams trying to take those guys away from the Razorbacks. They were. They were out there. And as we've talked about, tampering is very, very real. And those two guys were desired by other programs. I'll just put it that way. You got your leading tackler back yesterday. You got arguably your best defensive lineman back yesterday. And it's like winning a recruiting battle now. When these guys can go into the portal whenever, during the period that we're about to go into, and when schools can come in and tamper without penalty, when you keep those guys, it's like winning a recruiting battle that day. They lost a backup quarterback. You're going to lose guys, and backup quarterbacks are generally the guys you're going to lose. To me, that tells me Taylon Green's good to go. If Taylon Green wasn't good to go, Malachi Singleton would not have entered the transfer portal. So it tells me some things are happening behind the scenes that's good news for next year. Arkansas got a recruiting commitment from a big lineman, a guy that a lot of people wanted. So I think some good things happened yesterday. Who knows what's going to happen today? I mean, we are in the most unpredictable week, unpredictable time. And, you just don't know. But I thought yesterday was a good day.
Yeah, those are good points. And I wonder, though, if Taylon Green is like totally decided. Is he waiting to see what happens with Petrino? Does he go with Petrino if Bobby goes to Charlotte? Here's what's it's just crazy to think about what a coach has to deal with now. It used to be a royal pain just to get through the season, get into the early signing period, try to get guys signed. Athletic directors trying to give a vote of confidence to their coaches so the coaches could tell the players, yeah, I'm going to be here. And it was all about the, signing days. Now you don't know, like the at-risk players on your team in terms of them leaving is just, it's wild. You have no idea what they're thinking.
The players have known about Pittman for a while. They would not be Sorian Ball, for example, would not have said, I'm coming back. If they didn't know who their coach was going to be. So now who knows what the staff will end up looking like. I'd love for every one of them to come back, but I've been around this long enough to know it's probably not what's going to happen. But to me, again, just everything that we saw publicly yesterday leads me to believe that behind the scenes, things are going well.
So where does that leave us? That's what I would ask today. 877-377-6963. Where does that leave us with the thing that we've been saying? As you said, it's old news, but again, it got more traction yesterday as it makes its way through national media reports that Sam Pittman's back for at least one more year. Where does that leave Arkansas fans thinking about their football team, their hope meter next year? And by the way, I'm also just curious to see what happens between now and the bowl game and what kind of participation Arkansas has in the bowl game. Andrew Armstrong already came out and basically said bye to Arkansas on social media, right. which
that was
makes
expected.
sense. Yeah,
that was expected.
Yeah, how many more or what kind of
Harrison
roster?
Will play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. And we're going to get to the bowl game, and I suspect that we'll be calling some names that we've not called a lot during the course of the season. But I don't think it's going to be widespread. Look, Malachi Singleton was not going to play a lot in the bowl game unless something happened to Taylon. There's no reason to think that anything's going to change in terms of that position. Some of these guys who've announced they're going to come back, two of them yesterday, good players. I'm assuming they're going to play. They're coming back. They're going to play in the bowl game. So you're going to lose a few guys, but, I wouldn't think Landon Jackson would play. I wouldn't think, Armstrong's already said he won't. There may be a couple of others, but I don't know that it's going to be widespread among the guys that, were every down guys. But now look, Armstrong not playing just for the game itself. That changes things. There's no question.
How big of a deal for Razorback fans on your feelings about next season is keeping Bobby Petrino? Is he at the top of the list? Because a year ago, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. A year ago, it was all about Petrino and the hiring of Petrino, the shocking hire of Petrino gave a lot of fans hope. Where coming out of the Missouri game last year, there wasn't a lot of hope. And it's like, how are they going to sell tickets? It was hard to hear a positive word about Arkansas football. They go hire Petrino, and people get excited. So now we've seen Petrino, we've seen the offense. It's been up and down, a lot of turnovers, but also a lot of flashes of explosive plays at times. Talen's shown really flashes of excitement. They've put up good numbers on offense, but they haven't scored as many points as they needed to at times. And so here Petrino is now in the balance perhaps again on whether he's going to be here or not. And I wonder how much that weighs in to fans' excitement or hope about next season.
Well, I think it's got a lot to do with it for a lot of people. I'm not going to say that it's the overwhelming sentiment, but I think it is the sentiment of a lot of people. There's a feeling about Coach Petrino, and those who were old enough to remember when he was head coach are the ones that have that feeling that he represents success in Arkansas football. Now, look, if you really examine the numbers offensively this year, as we said yesterday, they did some really good things. There were some games where they weren't very good at all. But, if we can remember back to what the old days were like in college football before everyone wanted you to be good yesterday, first-year offensive coordinator, first-year quarterback, we would be, I think, excited about the possibility of them having another year to work together. I've said it to the point where I know it sounds like a broken record. I want those guys to come back. Just as a Razorback fan, as someone who wants them to do well, I want those guys to come back because I think an offensive coordinator and a quarterback in their second year together are going to be a lot better than the first. I don't know that we, and by we I mean all of us, myself included, I don't know that we understand how difficult it is to assemble a team in such a short amount of time. I'll go back to the Oklahoma State game. Way back at the start of the season. For better or worse, Oklahoma State knew what they had. We had no idea. You ask those coaches on Arkansas staff what they had going into Stillwater, they'd say, I have no earthly idea. We found out a little bit more that game. Oklahoma State didn't find out as much as they thought. But I think those things matter. But I do think for a lot of our people, having Bobby Petrino back is really important.
877-377-6963. Chuck's in Miami. The Hogs playing Miami tonight, 6 o'clock Central. It's on ESPN2. Obviously, him and Z will have the call right here on the radio. JR's in Shady Grove. JR, good morning. It's Tuesday. What's happening?
Morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Hey, JR.
Hey, Chuck. Hope you guys are doing okay down there. I think that I think the biggest thing, I'm going to probably stick to my old school way of looking at things, and I think the biggest thing for me as a fan is for whoever's up there to be able to motivate those kids to go out and give 100% every game. That's the biggest thing to me, because it's across the landscape of college football. That 2 weeks ago when you had 4 upsets, Alabama got beat, Texas A&M got beat, Ole Miss got beat. You have that going into college football, upset weekend or whatever. But it's hard for me to fathom that there's a motivation for those kids to go out and give 100%, whatever teams are buying for them to leave, to go to other teams. The money's flowing that we don't know about and will never know about, and that's just what everybody's having to deal with. But leading the nation in football or fumbles, that stuff right there is just basic stuff that's going to have to be corrected. I don't know what coach is in charge of that. I don't know if Bobby Petrino's in charge of that. I don't know if they have somebody special for that. But there's some basic stuff that's got to be able to be addressed for us to have hope going in. If Sam's sticks with the job, which I'm not for firing him. I'm just saying there's got to be some improvement. It just in basic football.
Yeah.
Going forward. So,
anytime. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call and appreciate your thoughts. Anytime you lead the country in a negative stat, it's obviously bad, and we're we're going to notice it, and we're going to talk about it. But why do we automatically go to coaching when it comes to players making mistakes? You know, it just seems like, I don't know that it happens quite as much in the NFL, but like Jameis Winston's been playing football for a long time. He threw for 500 yards last night, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 2 pick sixes. And do you think the first question in the press conference is, what's wrong with your head coach? Do you guys not work on that in practice? Do you guys not work on not throwing the ball to the other team? And maybe it's not completely apples to apples, but my point is, like, if you think they don't rep ball security, if we think that they don't rep that, like every team in the country's doing that. There's not, I don't think, some vast difference between coaching staffs on working. I mean, there's some differences, but not by and large. Everybody's doing the same ball security drills at every practice. I think one of the differences is you don't have players in your program that long. And you don't get to really discipline, and you don't get to really develop, as Chuck talked about yesterday, in a way that you did before. You're going to see more mistakes. But then sometimes you just, you end up with a guy in the transfer portal who maybe is a little, loose with the ball. And other guys, maybe they're not. But like, players have to go, Chuck, this is just my take. Players have to go make plays. I don't look at it all as the coaches. And I don't, we can get into this when we come back. We'll take a break. But, again, the overall question, how are you feeling with the news developing now? Petrino is sort of like he's up for a job, apparently, according to reports out of Charlotte, as the head coach there. Pittman's, again, definitely coming back for 25. What are your thoughts on where we are as a program? But why does the head coach get so much blame on fumbles? 877-377-6963, 619 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
You never know what just happened during that day. He could have accidentally dialed up an EV hotline while trying to call one of his hookers.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, you're sounding digitized, Chuck. I bet it's your internet there.
Starts now at Fayetteville Auto Park. There's never been a better time to buy. For the next 13 days only, everything is on sale. Aggressively priced up front, based on the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor. Tons of pre-owned below $29,999. Plus all your favorite new models: Honda, Acura, Toyota, Chevrolet, and more. Our biggest sales event ever. Now through November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy, this is it. Tons of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose. The deals of the year are here at Fayetteville Auto Park. We've got a great selection of pre-owned, many priced under $29,999, but only for a limited time. Closeout pricing means you save big on every new or pre-owned. What are you waiting for? You've only got a few days to lock in these limited time offers. Absolutely ends November 30th.
Is this any better?
Auto Park, proud sponsor of this.
Chuck, unfortunately, it's not. You're still sounding digitized.
FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Pre-owned sale. All offers mutually exclusive. Expires 11/30/24.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to
Just tell me if anything improves.
Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
$17.76. You can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything improvement at all?
No, unfortunately.
No.
It's a deal. Just log on to GoPascal.com and don't worry
I'll be gone for a minute. I'll be back. Okay.
I always enjoy talking about what
Alrighty.
built is the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Wankert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
To continue to glorify the Lord even through the toughest circumstances. I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes. Like that's not me. Like
as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor.
I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy.
I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
For cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready.
I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
Games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3001 0 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Champion Cycling wants to help you find the joy in cycling that's been part of their family for many years. Register today through December 20th at hitthatline.com for your chance to win a specialized road bike just in time for Christmas. Whether you're a child getting your first bike, an adult who hasn't been on a bike in years, or someone who's looking to podium at their next race, Champion Cycling wants to help you find the right bike. A great selection of bikes, cycling apparel and accessories, and great service. 5500 Mazard Road in Fort Smith. Find your next ride with Champion Cycling. You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
It's National Absurdity Day.
I plan on celebrating.
Well, I think we already have.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
877-377-6963, 624. Good morning on the third day of December. It's Tuesday. Jameis Winston with the quote of the year, I think. We're running out of time. You know, we got the end of the year coming up, right? We'll have all the best stuff from in sports. This has to be in there.
I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
I feel that. When you throw 2 pick sixes, 500 yards passing, and you lose on one of them.
That's amazing. Look, Jameis Winston is the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
And when he was at Florida State, I couldn't stand him, mostly because he was at Florida State and he was the quarterback for Florida State. But now this far into his NFL career and like the whole crab legs thing and everything, he's just become this enduring football figure, an endearing figure to football fans.
I know. And look, it's not about what he said, like from a faith perspective. It's his just goofiness. Like they have, you know how they have those animated video shots of a quarterback when they're like, they'll just be like flipping the ball up in the air. Mm-hmm. He's just on there doing all this weird stuff. He is literally a treasure.
Yes.
And when I heard that this morning, I was like, that's going to break the internet.
I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
Another treasure is Eddie in Clarksville. Eddie, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Eddie, you there?
Sir, you're exactly right. Coaches do not fumble the ball, and they do not miss blocks on a repeated basis. Let me say this, though. If there's an area, whether it's a football team or a business that is suffering, you got to identify that and try to fix it. And for 3 years, sir, our offensive line, let's just say, it seems never to improve. What are we right now? 120th? Whatever it is, it's pretty close to that, maybe worse. And so, how, sir, are you ever going to look at the schedule next year? Just look at the schedule. In that first, you open up with Alabama, A&M. I think you got Arkansas State. But in that first 6, you've got Notre Dame, and then you got Auburn. You better win one of those games. And then you, on the back half of that schedule, it's just brutal. You think you had a tough schedule this year? Woo! Look at that. Missouri is a program we've only beat once under Sam Pittman. That's a program I said the other day we're expected to compete with. And, yes, it was a close game, but I expect us to beat them. And we won. And then Texas A&M, I mean, I think we've come up goose eggs under Coach Pittman. There's a program we don't win that game, even though it's in Fayetteville. Let me say this. You're at Tennessee. You're at Texas. You're at Ole Miss. I mean, it's just brutal. I mean, and how many, we're bringing Coach Pittman back, sir, and how confident and optimism, especially if you lose Bobby Petrino. I mean, you lose Bobby Petrino. Yes, we did improve this year. But to me, our program is not growing. It's not. I expect our program to be better than what it is. And so I'm just appalled. And, I referred to before, an athletic director you either agree or disagree with. I did a little research on Hunter Yurchek. He's not from here. He doesn't understand the passion of our fan base. If you think he grew up, he was born in Virginia, was raised up in the Carolinas. And so I think he got his master's in Richmond. And so let me tell you something.
I mean, not everybody can be from Arkansas. That doesn't mean he can't understand the passion of Razorback fans. But continue.
Let me say this, sir. I'm going to say, athletic director, I always refer to him as the good shepherd of our program. And is that being a good shepherd of? Listen here. If Coach Pittman was running for president, I'd vote for him. But I care about wins in my program. And there's programs in this. I mean, we're getting left behind. I mean, Vanderbilt, Coach Lee, I mean, do they have the facilities we do? I expect us to compete with Ole Miss year in and year out and beat them. The only team we're beating consistently in the SEC the last couple of years is Mississippi State. And give Jeff Levy time to recruit down there. I don't know if we'll beat them. So that leaves your program. You talk about optimism from next year. It's not lost. I never thought I'd see administration. I mean, listen to just 2 years. I'm just talking facts. Coach Pittman, the last 2 years is 10 and 14 overall. And you can't deny that. And you don't bring them back for year 6? I don't think so. What a shame that we have an athletic director that's not a good shepherd of our program, because as a good shepherd, you're supposed to oversee that you're competing at the highest level. And we're not doing that. Thank you for taking my call.
Eddie, thank you for calling. I disagree on a couple of levels. I get being frustrated that they didn't win more games. First of all, Vanderbilt has not passed Arkansas. Just for the record, they both have 6 wins this year. Congratulations to Clark Lee. We'll see how sustainable, just like we'll see how sustainable the success they had at Indiana this year was. But let me say this, okay? And maybe I'll get into this clip from Shane Beamer where he was on an SEC radio show, I believe yesterday, talking about South Carolina winning 6 straight games and their resume and should they be a college football playoff team. Obviously, he thinks so. When you look at the number of teams that are being considered for the playoff this year that have no wins over ranked opponents, it's astonishing. And when you flip that around and you realize the number of games that you play against ranked opponents or teams that will be in the playoff, you then begin to realize how this whole thing works. You're playing, and he talked about next year, you're playing a brutal schedule. And so to compete with the teams that you're playing, to beat those teams, how do you expect, tell me what the answer is on getting the same level of players that the top teams in the SEC get year in and year out? Are you saying that Arkansas is positioned to do that? And if you're not willing to say that they're positioned to do that, meaning their recruiting geography, the radius around campus, the money supporting the program, the tradition of championships, If you're saying they're not positioned to do that, then you're asking someone to overachieve where Arkansas is. Just understand that. I'm not saying you should settle. This is what gets mixed up in this conversation all the time. If you bring this to light, people then act like that means you're for settling. That's not the case. But you also have, if you're the athletic director, weigh that in when you decide whether the guy leading your program is doing an adequate or good enough job or just a good job. And did you make progress this year? And do you think you'll take another step next year? Those are some factors that get considered with the athletic director. Chuck's back. We'll take a break. He's in Miami, getting ready for the game tonight, up early, howling at the sunrise, overlooking, no doubt, an ocean view in the balcony. It's got to be beautiful. Like, to be Chuck today, for one day, I just want to be Chuck in Miami today at 26 degrees or whatever it is here in Fayetteville. 24? It's 24. It's 72 and the sun's coming up in Miami. Chuck and Bo Show, back in a minute.
Good morning, Hog Country. I travel with my work, so
all right, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Does it sound any better?
It's a little bit better, Chuck, but it's still digitized.
Okay. I don't know what to do.
Are you plugged into an air card or directly into like the wall at the hotel?
I am plugged into the unit that I always use. It's mobile hotspot that I take with me.
Okay.
It's Northwest Arkansas.
It is not. I don't know how to program it, like for the wireless in the hotel.
Great vision.
Do they have, and I know it's not necessarily seen in every hotel, is there an Ethernet port on the wall by your desk or anything?
And now Coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential,
I'm afraid there's not.
Can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of...
You have probably...
1 2 3 4.
Call or text today at
479-719. You've probably already done this. If you turn that wireless unit, or not the air card off, or whatever that thing you're using is off and on.
Yeah. I've rebooted everything, moved it around the room, unplugged it.
I figured you
had. This is an older hotel. There's a lot of concrete. My patio is actually enclosed.
Juicy burgers and fresh
And,
find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock. Or order
without
online
being able to program it into their computer, their internet. I don't know what to
Shelter
do.
Insurance. We believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right.
1 2 3 4 5. Boy,
customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance.
1 2 3 4 5.
Your shelter.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
That's pretty close to being good right there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive paint.
I'm going to leave everything off.
That is unsurpassed in
I'm going to turn everything off except for the internet that I have on the show here.
To ensure all damages
so there's no interference.
Yeah, that would definitely help.
All insurance companies and
yeah, I've got everything off except the Comrex now.
To give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the
Sorry.
Colorworks
no, it's all good, man.
It's this room where I'm in. My patio out here is enclosed. This is an old hotel, and it's concrete.
They say consistency is the key to success.
I can't really describe it other than to say I'm kind of in a well.
Grabbing a beer that's
sounds like you're in prison, but that's cool.
Refreshing and consistent.
Well, you know, it's
everything's good. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, we'll just do the best we can. And
the accommodations are not as nice as maybe they've been made to believe.
No, they're actually very nice. It's just the room where I'm at. It's kind of in a well. It's an old historic hotel, which means there's a lot of concrete
on our lots, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 players that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Just do another pick six.
Are you ready to ride like a rock star?
That's the best quote.
Then contact Luxury Limousines. They're 28-foot.
I didn't hear it. I was going through all this stuff, and I didn't hear it.
Inside,
let me play it for you.
Superior sound, enhanced lighting.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
The upcoming Christmas holiday light tours.
Oh my gosh.
Just go to Facebook and like Luxury Limousine, serving Fort Smith.
He's something else.
Luxury Limousines.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
So if I get offended right there, do you get offended at me for being offended?
No, I don't get offended at you for being offended, but I do think there's an issue with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck's with the basketball team. They're at a really nice hotel in Miami, and they put him in the basement next to the janitor's apartment.
Yeah.
And so Chuck, and they did it, because they knew he had to do a radio show, and they didn't want him waking anybody up, on the block of rooms they had. And so it's been a little bit of a struggle.
That's right.
Getting a signal out of there. But I think you sound great now. I'm glad we have you here.
Well, I commandeered a different room down here in the basement, and so now I'm in a different well.
Yeah, the view's not as swanky as the balcony overlooking the ocean. Now he's got a mop to his right and a broom to his left. Yeah.
It's a very nice hotel, but I'm in a room where, man, I just got too many walls and concrete and all this stuff around me. It's just, it's not the best setup for what we're doing right now, but it is a very nice hotel.
Well, we're all good. Chuck and Bo Show, it's 6:40, and David is in Searcy. David, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. We almost had an awkward moment. I just finished my second cup of coffee and was ready for another dip, and I was going to have to ask you to allow me to put my phone down while I used both hands to get the can, but we got that out of the way.
Well, okay. Well,
as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Juracek is by far the best athletic director I've ever seen up at Northwest Arkansas. I'd just like to get that out of the way.
Wow, he just flew right past Frank Broyles?
I stand on what I say.
Oh, wow, okay. Some high praise.
Anyway, Saturday, I got off to a bad start anyway. I missed one of my target deer at 70 yards, standing still. And so I haven't taken one in 3 years, so I decided to take one, and I did, and I screwed the shot up because I haven't taken one in 3 years. And let me tell you, inactivity creates chaos. So that's what happened. So my weekend was ruined automatically, and I hope the Razorbacks could bring me back around with some semblance of calmness. But I taped the game, got in. Wife actually watched it with me. When it got down to the end, And let me say this. Taylor Green, I was so proud of him because he played in tough conditions, one of the best games I've ever seen a young man play. He was extremely accurate on his passes. I was just so proud of that young man. And right toward the end of the game, when we really needed him to make a throw, he threw behind the receiver 10 yards down the field that we actually had to have that play. And I got so mad, I was yelling, and I told my wife, it cannot happen. It cannot happen. And then I chastised myself, and I said, you have just told yourself the young man played the best game you've probably seen him play. So you can't have it both ways. So he still played a great game. Here's what really bothers me about the game. First of all, it's not the coach's fault the players fumble. It's not. We have an 8-4 football team that went 6-6, and actually could have been better than 8-4. But that is not the coach's fault. It's just simple execution that did not get done. So when Missouri got the ball, just a few minutes left, I told my wife, well, we made a good run. It's over. They're going to score. There's nothing we can do about it. We're used to it. We're Arkansas. We're used to losing these type games. And I told her, maybe a fumble, something like that, we've got a chance and we can win the game. Otherwise, they're going right down the field and score, and we had a heck of a good game. And when we had them down to 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, I don't remember what it was, the most crucial play of the game, I thought, well, maybe we do have a chance. Maybe we could stop them. They'll have to punt. They can't go for it. Well, we drop back in a little rinky-dink zone, and their receiver runs out right between two of our defensive backs and just takes a little 10, 12, 13-yard pass and falls to the ground. I was so upset because at some point in the game, it seems to me at the most crucial time, a coach, either the head coach, Mr. Williams, who I love, he was one of the most wonderful men I have ever seen. Somebody has got to say, listen, we're going for it. We're fixing to rush a couple of guys, and the rest of them better get their man because we're not giving him time to sit back there and complete this pass. We can lose the game here if we do this, but we're not going to let them sit back and complete that pass.
Well, you're describing.
I don't understand it. So you guys tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's not that you're wrong. I just think you're describing every football game. I mean, this is how football goes. There's got to be a team that loses in every game. Rarely does anybody play a game, even the winner, and look back and say, "Man, we executed to perfection. We called all the right plays." I think you are making the point, though, like, players have to make plays. Chuck, I don't know where you are on this whole thing about fumbles and execution, and it's all back to coaches, but everybody plays a role. The coaches play a role. But the idea that they lead the country in fumbles is because they're not coaching it. Or, they're giving up big play. Like the big Brady Cook run looked like a busted coverage to me. The middle of the field was wide open. These are the things that happen when you lose. It doesn't mean fire the coaching staff and it suddenly gets better. I mean, they're all working on it. That's always the solution for some people, and I get that. I mean, there is a temptation when you watch your team struggle and they're not winning and they seem to make the same mistakes over again. There is the tendency to think, well, let's just get rid of everybody and start over. Lots of times it doesn't work out when you do it that way. The one thing that I do think needs to be brought up, and we've discussed this from time to time, only Hunter Yurachek knows how the last search went. Only Hunter Yurachek knows what the reaction was to the coaches that he talked to. A lot of these names that are being thrown out there, a lot of the guys that Arkansas has played against, or at least some of the guys Arkansas has played against this year, those coaches had their interest gauged in this job, and there was not the interest that we would all like to think there was. I feel very, very confident in saying that, 100%, just to be honest with you. But only Hunter knows exactly how that search went. Only Hunter knows what the market is out there.
If you think that that any athletic director out there doesn't have in his mind a list or guys out there that he's noticed or guys out there that he's thought in the back of his mind, if I ever get a chance to talk to this guy, maybe hire him, I want to do that. I think every athletic director does that, but only Hunter knows how it went the last time. And I can't help but believe that that factors into his thinking right now.
Caleb in Mountain Home, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to talk a little bit about, I just want to start off by saying I love Eddie. If Eddie was my commander and he led me into battle, I would follow him anywhere with the speeches he gives. He is awesome. But I do disagree with him in what he said this morning about Arkansas not making progress. And you don't have to compare it to Chad Morris. You just have to compare this year to last year. Y'all, last year I was at that Mississippi State game where we couldn't even score a touchdown. If you pointed a gun to Dan Enos' head, he couldn't cross a 4th and 1. This year in every game we played in, we were competitive. We scored a good amount. We weren't falling back. Now, on your question about keeping Bobby Petrino, I think that is a big part of it because it goes along with what y'all been saying all year. Keeping Sam Pittman is central to keeping stability in building a program. But I believe that keeping Bobby Petrino and T-Will are both those next big columns that'll keep that up. People want consistency in their program. But before you get consistency, you have to have stability. And we are getting that. We're getting stability in our NIL. Arkansas Edge is built up in the last year, and it's doing better. I'd like to think that now that we have these new offensive coordinators, people are looking at our program, and it's looking better. And it is. We beat teams like Tennessee. We went on the road and beat Auburn. We wouldn't have been able to do that last year compared to this year. So I really think we have made progress. Now, next year is going to be the kicker, whether or not we keep Bobby P or not. If we fall back and do worse, I think Pittman's gone. If we stay the same, I think Pittman's gone. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think 8 wins is kind of the threshold of where we need to be next year.
Caleb, thanks for the call. We got to hit a break. More of your reaction coming up. Sam Pittman, we've been saying it, but then it got reported nationally yesterday, or was reported nationally yesterday, that he was coming back for another year. We're reacting to it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck, have you ever had oat milk?
No.
Do you like squeeze milk out of an
Or
oat?
is it just milk over oats?
Yeah, that's what happens. How does that work?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
And Hog Noxious, our listeners just don't let us down. He said, Chuck, explain it to them. Smash or trash by saying swipe right or left.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Brad, Tyson, and their entire team are so thankful this time of year during the holidays. We appreciate all of our customers that enjoy the beverage bar at Boonville, the hot food at Phoenix, and the deli at Jam Mart number 10. We know you're loving the updated pumps at our gas stations, and we're continuing to strive to find new creative ways to improve every single day. If you love Jam Mart, please leave us a 5-star review on Google. Happy holidays from your friends at Jam Mart.
The nation's best home court advantage lives inside Bud Walton Arena. The Razorbacks are back inside the Basketball Palace of Mid-America, and Coach John Calipari and the Hogs need you there and need you loud all season long. If you have tickets, make sure they're being used. If you need tickets, head over to SeatGeek.com. SeatGeek, that's the official resale marketplace of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you don't wear tailored clothing, dressing up a lot, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, the rental is the way to go because you get in a lot less expensive. Your party all matches and you look really coordinated with the ladies in your event. You get to try it on so everybody knows that it fits. There's no worries the weekend of the wedding. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental because it's fun to look good.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, you know, just
I
like
guess it depends on which side of the fence you're
It's
on.
friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but I mean, it's still friendly. We have donuts. We have
Bart's
sauce,
friendly.
We have kolaches.
Bart and Edward friendly.
We have donut holes.
We've
we have
trained
coffee.
ourselves.
We've trained ourselves. we're taking a mediocre victory lap today.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, we're going to get back to your calls coming up after the top of the hour and reaction via text that we're getting in as Sam Pittman's returning for 2025. It's not necessarily new news, but it's more confirmed news. By the way, well wishes to Coach Pittman as he undergoes hip surgery this morning. 877-377-6963. Chuck's in Miami, and the Chuck and Bo Show continues in a moment.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health,
Confidence and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnumcosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heated air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
You say, well, that's a tough thing to say when we live in a tough world.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine, our high temperatures this afternoon into the middle 40s. We're not going to be quite as cold tonight. Overnight lows will drop down into the lower 30s. Sunny skies on Wednesday, high temperatures into the low to mid 50s, a chance of rain showers across the south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Ty Richardson, we're live here at First Financial Mortgage. I'm here with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I know I probably texted you 100 times during this process, man. I didn't know what I was doing. Luckily, you did.
Yeah, Ty. It was always great working with you. Glad we could help you get closed. A good loan officer is someone who can answer questions after hours, before hours, and be available when you're needed. We get pre-qualifications in, get buyers pre-qualified so they can search for homes and get them closed quick. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What latte did you get?
This is a.
I'm dying to know.
This is a gingerbread latte with oat milk.
Good God.
I knew.
Good God. I mean, really.
I knew that was coming.
Bart comes out of Starbucks and accidentally gets into a minivan. He's like, I don't know what took over me, but I definitely should be in this minivan. Where are the kids? Did somebody leave them at soccer practice?
I hate
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
It's interesting, how news happens. The University of Arkansas has never made an announcement about Sam Pittman. He is undergoing hip surgery this morning. There was speculation, and we get rumors now more rampant than maybe several years ago because of social media. And Brett McMurphy, who I respect as a college football reporter, said there was speculation that Sam Pittman would retire, and now Sam Pittman is coming back for another season per sources. And so it created a lot of conversation, especially on social media yesterday. And we talked about it a little bit on Monday. It makes sense coming out of a season that ended 6-6, with Missouri being the final regular season game. Of course, the bowl game's coming up. You react to where you are, what the future looks like. So we've talked about, is Petrino taking a head coaching job? We'll see. Is T. Will taking another job somewhere, whether it's a head coaching job or a coordinator job? Pittman was asked about it. Said, yeah, these guys are good. They're going to probably have people after them. You've also got players who are going to get offers to go in the portal, get paid to go play somewhere else. Got a question here via text from Dalen in Hot Springs and Arkadelphia. Which players have declared for the transfer portal so far? Just one that we know of, Malachi Singleton. Chuck, meanwhile, is in Miami while we're here all dealing with this in freezing temperatures. It's 70-plus degrees. The sun's coming up. He's going to enjoy calling a basketball game tonight as the Hogs play at Miami. Chuck, good morning. I heard through sources reports that you were getting noise complaints in your hotel room as you do the show this morning. Is it true? Is that a fact? Can you confirm?
Well, there's that's been discussed, I guess you could say. But
so what's the game plan? Are we doing a golf voice the rest of the show? Well, Bo,
I don't know. No, I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it the way I have. I'm going to keep doing it the way I have.
You might try a golf voice. I want to hear. Chuck, wouldn't that be That'd be good. Let's hear it. Why don't you give me your analysis on football? Go for it. Yeah.
One of the things that I think should be kept in mind is that, to get a 10-foot putt here. I can't do that.
And it's tracking towards the hole. Ooh, just burn the edge. Speaking of burning the edge, here's Brent and Cersei. Brent, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Brent, fire away. Brent? Maybe we caught him mid-heater. I don't know. 877
go get a smoke.
377-6963. Bart has identified, Chuck, the issue with the Arkansas football post Bobby Petrino and the struggles that have occurred and why it's felt like it has over the last decade or so. What's the issue that you have pinpointed, Bart?
Yeah. So from the time Danny Ford was hired as the head coach to the end of Bobby Petrino's tenure as the head hog, Arkansas 27-10-1 against the Mississippi schools. The one thing Arkansas could always count on was being better than Ole Miss and Mississippi State. But since Petrino was fired, the Razorbacks are just 10-16 against Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Brett Bielema 5-5, Sam Pittman 5-5, and then John L. Smith and Chad Morris a combined 0-6 against those teams. That sums up. I don't know that that's like the root of all issues or anything, but that sums up where Arkansas has been and why things have been the way they have. The Hogs can't consistently beat the Mississippi schools anymore, and that's got to change.
Well, things are somewhat cyclical.
Sure.
Ole Miss hasn't always had a good coach. Hugh Freeze was a good coach at Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin's a good coach at Ole Miss now. They've always had more recruiting resources. Like if you draw a 4 or 5 hour radius around their campus, there's a lot more players. Mississippi State had Mike Leach for RIP, but they had Mike Leach as part of that.
Dan Mullen.
You also, and Dan Mullen, thank you. And you go back and you look, Chuck, I think part of what Sam Pittman is carrying right now, his own misstep of hiring Dan Enos and all of these stats about one-score games, which I've got a whole other opinion on, but part of what he's carrying is a tab of what you just described over the last decade. He's going to be going into year 6, but Arkansas fans are so hungry for things to be better, for like they were when Petrino was here, that anybody that doesn't get them there, they're frustrated by. It's a tab that's been over a decade now.
No question. I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and I do think a lot of people feel that way, and it's understandable. I mean, it really is. I mean, all you've got to do is look at the numbers. I honestly think people began to feel like, man, this is not going to be good in the final years of Bielema. You know, when they beat Texas in the Texas Bowl, they were 6-6 that year. It's interesting. 6-6 that year was not a record that made people want to fire the coach. Went down there, beat Texas. Brad got a new contract. From that point on, it's just kind of been downhill. And I'm not saying him getting the new contract's the reason, but it's got something to do with it, I think. And from that point on, it's just been to the end of the Chad Morris era. It was bad. I can tell you that it's night and day different now than it was during the Morris era. And I'm not saying that's the bar, although, you certainly don't want to ever go back there again. But, a caller made a point a few moments ago that I think is a good point. They are better than they were last year. Are they as good as the teams that we want to run with? No. But they are better than they were a year ago. And it just kind of depends on how you measure progress. For some, it's not enough. For others, it's part of a very painful process, and so it just kind of depends on your point of view. One thing that I will say, I don't think that anybody's minds. I don't know how many minds have been changed during the course of the season, frankly, but I don't think anybody's minds have changed on where they stood regarding the program since the end of the Missouri game. I think people had their minds made up going in, and what happened in Columbia either bolstered their thought or it didn't.
I want to go back to the phones, but I'm curious to get your take on the idea of accepting mediocrity There's this narrative that's being created that when we describe what's happened with this program, the average wins this program's had since joining the SEC, 6.2 wins per year. When you go dig around like we're doing right now on the past, which, by the way, part of that Mississippi record is you're coming out of a dumpster fire with John L., right? And you go into Chad Morris.
Absolutely.
Like, that's part of what happened here. That's what I mean, cyclical. So they get a couple of good coaches at the Mississippi schools. You go through that mess. When Bielema gets here, remember, like, it felt like he was building the program, and they went 0 for whatever 21 first SEC games it was. But you saw it coming, and then they hit it, and then what Chuck just described, and then that went off the cliff. And then the Chad Morris thing happened. So this is what Sam Pittman inherited. It's not like he inherited a winning tradition of things that were going well. And I'm not excusing anything about Pittman. I'm just giving the background. And so I go back to my question. Like, this idea that we're for anybody that's just kind of explaining the situation or saying, hey, Pittman got better, the team got better this year. How is that? Like, what is this idea of accepting mediocrity versus wanting more?
Well, I realize when you don't have a great season and you're not mad as hell about it, and you're not calling for somebody to be fired, and you're not screaming at the top of your lungs, this is unacceptable. People are going to say you're accepting mediocrity. That's what they're going to say. And I've heard this for 30 years. My only point is that while I do get people's frustrations with that, I have frustrations with that. We've tried firing people left and right, and we're still where we were. So I don't know that that's the answer. I'm not saying that you hire a guy and you stick with him for 20 years regardless of how it goes. I'm not suggesting that. But I'm saying that if you're in a situation as a program, and I'm going to speak generally right here, when you start firing your head coaches, you better know what direction you're going in. We got into a situation, and this is just my opinion, we got into a situation post Bobby Petrino, John L. Smith, where we were trying to fire and hire our way out of mediocrity. And it just hasn't worked. And look, let's not act like since Arkansas joined the SEC, they've got this grand tradition of success. They don't. And so, but the idea that you're accepting it, or you're just saying, hey, this is our fate, I don't think anybody, I can guarantee you, nobody in that building comes to work every day accepting mediocrity, not a single person.
Yeah, I mean, you've had two coaches that have basically done better in the SEC. Houston Nutt, and I think it was a completely different time, and then Bobby Petrino. And by the way,
it was a completely different time from when Petrino was here.
100%. And by the way, you got Petrino under some difficult circumstances. Remember everybody making fun of Arkansas and Petrino, the way he left Atlanta, the way he came here, after both Jim Grobe and Tommy Bowden had said yes and then said no. And then when you got Petrino, you got all of Petrino, and it didn't end well. And like all of these things happened. And we like to just dismiss certain things and then use what supports our argument. We got a full deck of calls. We'll get to them when we come back. It's the Chuck and Bo Show, 7:15. Hogs at Miami tonight. Chuck's going to call the game at 6. We'll continue as he continues looking at sunshine, and we continue to try to get warm here. Good morning.
It's going to be a tough slog from now till the end of time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
How's my signal?
You sound 1,000 times better.
Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital.
I think when you took the other things off your air card, it helped it out.
Also, go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kimco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Unto us a child is given, and his name shall be Wonderful, Counselor, Emmanuel, God with us. Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services. From all of our families here at Blaylock's, we would like to wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Let's take you as an example. You're rich, but you're still here.
I am not rich, or I wouldn't be here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The honesty. The integrity. If he was rich, he wouldn't be here. Actually, he's in Miami. Chuck and Bo Show, glad you're here. 7:20. Let's hit the phones. Kevin's in Fort Smith. Kevin, good morning. Welcome in.
Hey, good morning, guys. I want to talk about Bobby Petrino for a minute and kind of the thought process there for him. I mean, leaving to go to a head coaching job, I can understand, but Charlotte, that almost seems like a step down to me, but I'm not sure what the money would be there for a head coach compared to being offensive coordinator here. I think that's part of the
let me tell you my gut on that. And I don't know for sure, but I'll just tell you my gut. Petrino's got a son and son-in-laws that coach. Nick Petrino is the offensive coordinator at Missouri State right now. I could see a scenario where Petrino would want to take another head coaching job and sort of create an environment that he can coach with his family. Like he did at Missouri State. I don't know why he left Missouri State and decided to be a coordinator again. But I think if you're looking for a reason why he would take a job like that, that might be one of them.
Well, that's a good point. That would be definitely a good reason. I felt like, and he talked extensively with his family about it before he came back to Arkansas, and he knew he would get a lot of flack for coming back, but he wanted to come back. I mean, you could tell by the comments he made, he really wanted to come back and be at Arkansas for a while. And I hope we can keep him, because I really think Taylor Green will be better having another year under that same system. I think he's going to be even better next year. And anyway, I'd like Chuck's thoughts on it too. Just what Bobby's thought process would be there.
Thanks, Kevin.
It's interesting, and I won't claim that I've got super insight on that. I do believe that his family enjoys being here. I do believe that. I think they were excited as a family to come back. There's been so much said about Coach Petrino, good and bad, and he's felt a lot of love, though, within the borders of this state. This may be the place, it may be the only place where he's viewed the way he's viewed. And I've got to believe there's some value, some personal value in that, some happiness that comes with that, some stability within the family that comes with that. I don't know these things. Part of this may be wishful thinking, quite honestly, because I'd like to see him stay very much. But I think what Bo said about the family issues, I think those are issues. I think they are. I think you've got to think about that if you're Bobby Petrino. From a football perspective, money perspective, clearly there's some things there you've got to consider really hard.
The other thing is Missouri State is close to Fayetteville. It's a couple hours away. And I know they've got, I think a lake property in between here and there. So I don't know what all is going into that, but I just know I would assume that it's a consideration. 877-377-6963. By the way, Missouri State went 8-4 this year. Art in Fayetteville, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Man, good morning, y'all. How's it going?
Doing great. Hope you are.
So one thing that I want to just talk about real quick about how I don't feel like it's really a coaching issue that we really have. It's more of a culture issue, and I feel as if we need to start bringing in players to fit that hard-nosed football culture. From my perspective, I feel like we don't really tap into our state. We have a whole eastern side of the state, and we really don't pull players from there, For instance, that number 3 guy at the offensive line is going to LSU that we lost out on. Like, I feel like that's a problem. We should be trying to pull our kids from state if we want to bring back that hard-nosed winning culture, bring those guys back, give those local players that platform to prove themselves, and also building that system of being hard-nosed so they can adapt to, and fostering that statewide buy-in, because I'm tired of seeing our boys, they go off to Ole Miss or they go to Memphis. They're not coming here to this is the flagship school. I went to college here and everything from Arkansas, and I feel like we should really just have that statewide buy-in and foster that,
Yeah. It's interesting, Chuck. Thanks for the call, Ant. When Sam Pittman came, the way that he talked to the fan base, the way that he wanted the job, I felt like he was as good a fit since Houston Nutt could be for this job, embracing Arkansas, what Arkansas is about. We're about showing the rest of the world they're wrong. We're about a chip on our shoulder. We're the underdog, but we'll kick your butt. That's the mentality. That's the attitude I thought Pittman brought with him. I don't know that football players growing up in this state feel like they once did maybe about being a Razorback. I think the game has changed. Some of that is maybe a lack of success Arkansas has had in recent years. And maybe they grow up in other parts of the state that aren't Northwest Arkansas where the school is, maybe rooting for other teams. But I don't like this history that we have of growing up wanting to be a Razorback and that being a big deal in terms of how you build a program, I think it's changed a little bit.
Oh, I think it's changed a lot. And I know this is going to sound, for some people it may not resonate, but, when we're talking about those times gone by when all those kids grew up wanting to be Razorbacks, you think about how sheltered we were in this state without internet. There was no internet. Think about how the world has been opened up to people just through being able to open their phones, just being able to, see the highlights of a team halfway across the country. I'm going to tell you, when I was growing up, the only time you ever saw, for example, LSU play or USC play or Alabama play was when they were on television that Saturday. And if you missed it, you didn't see it. There were no highlights. There was no Sports Center. There were no internet. I mean, you couldn't pick your phone up and watch any clip that you wanted to. The stories about fights that we covered over the weekend, those were just stories back then. You didn't have video. My point is that the exposure that these kids have to the outside world now, the things that they find cool, it's really important to an 18-year-old to be cool and go to a cool place. Those are factors when you're that age. And I just think kids are exposed to the world now in a way we were not. And it affects your loyalties, not just in sports, but in everything. There's just so much more out there now than there was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And it's just undeniable in my view. I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but I think it's got something to do with it.
Yeah, it's just different. And I also think these coaches are going out trying to get the best players they can get. I mean, if there's a kid they think can help them in Arkansas, I mean, 100% they're going after it. Nobody's got more at stake. We all act like we sometimes have more at stake than these coaches when it comes to winning games. I mean, they're trying to get the best players they can. It's more competitive in recruiting and the portal than it's ever been. Ryan in Hot Springs, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. Y'all were talking about the whole thing of accepting mediocrity, and a lot of the same people that I hear saying that are the same ones that ain't got a clue about 2022. They just see as the only thing they want to talk about is it went bad. That was when the program turned up whenever KJ went to leap from the 3-yard line into the touchdown, and really honestly that season went downhill really at the Cincinnati game. And I'm not bashing Sam. I'm not. In fact, I'm kind of giving him out a little bit because in the first half of that game, how many of our backfield got hurt on defense? You lost Jalen Catalon before halftime. Slusher got hurt. I don't remember if Chavis was hurt going into the game or if he got hurt in that game. My point is we had an injury bug like I've never seen before. And it carried through the season, and Sam had to coach through that and still made it a bowl game. Bielema couldn't do that. And again, I'm not bashing Bielema because obviously there's different injuries there. But my point is it's not all bad coaching that Sam's had that's been on Sam. He's had some legitimate bad luck, genuinely.
Yeah, I mean, look,
our fan base does not see that.
Look, we can all come up with a lot of reasons why you don't win. That's what when you lose, you get excuses. Like when you miss deadlines, you get excuses. We don't get excuses when you win, and we don't get excuses when you make deadlines. I mean, but I get it, and I don't have any problem with people who are frustrated or want things to be better. I'm not even saying like if you want another coach, I mean that's what we all talk about. It's opinion. It's fine. Like what I'm trying, and I think Chuck tries to explain, are just the context, the circumstances, the insight to what Arkansas deals with, what Hunter Yurachek deals with if he's trying to hire a new coach, and then also like trying to look at the last year and say, did it get better? And are there reasons to have hope moving forward? And what are those reasons? I mean, that's the discussion. as Sam Pittman's going to be back for another year. What do you think next year? Look, by the way, next year's schedule is brutal. I mean, that's the other thing. The problem with this conversation for me is trying to have it in the lens of what you're asking Arkansas to do is be a top 10 team in the country. I mean, the difference between 6 and 9 wins with this schedule is the playoff, potentially. South Carolina has 9 wins. They play a similar schedule. They're having an incredible year. Incredible year. And the difference is, are you a top 10 team or not? 877-377-6963, 731 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Bo, if I was as good a husband as you were, a man on the radio, my wife would bow to me every day. You guys are top notch.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling
1, 2, 3, 4,
diamonds to classic
5.
watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for.
I still think you sound good. Does it sound good coming back to you?
Let us help you make this.
Yeah, check 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just all of a sudden it just went away. Just all of a sudden it just.
Yeah, I didn't ever hear you go away. I saw
went away.
your note, but I didn't hear that. Okay.
Well, I don't think I go away to you, but you go away to me.
For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
We want to make sure that you can read some ludicrous lyrics on his 47th birthday today.
I can do that one. Roll out, roll out. The Chuck and Bo Show.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on Senior Walk, and our blood flows razorback red. For 100 years we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Shop. I'm buying them at the Bakery District today.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Malvern December 7th and 8th at the Hot Springs County Fairgrounds. Join us Saturday, December 7th from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday, December 8th from 9 till 3. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for police, and only $5 for veterans in the military. Children 16 and under are free. Go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cave, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL
Hey, if
provider
schedule
of tough.
comes
River
back
City
up,
Coatings,
I got something I wanna
471-7675 or
bring up about
online
that.
at rivercitycoatings.com.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jasco?
Logos, we do food trucks, cars, we do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jasco. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
This is my problem with people and criticism. Like, you get on social media, you create a fake account, and you say things. Like, if you're going to call for somebody else's job and you're going to make a big statement, put your name on it. I am Bart, and I did the billboard. Bart didn't do the billboard. But put your name on it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
877-377-6963 at 737. Stephen in Tulsa. Fumbles are a direct correlation of a lack of discipline. Love our coaches, but you can't absolve them from all blame because they weren't the ball carrier. Yeah, Stephen, I agree with that. What I was pointing out earlier is you can't just blame the coaches either. They're all in this together. But they don't carry the ball. And if you think they don't rep ball security at every practice, you haven't been to a practice. And this is pretty much everybody does the same ball security drills in the country. I don't know what the stats are. I don't know if research has been done on this, but I bet if you look around the country, we have the worst disciplined football being played that we've had in years. I mean, you've just got so much turnover in rosters. You know, and Chuck, you've talked about it. The idea of development now is, it's like a joke. I mean, you do what you can in a few months' time with players that are only there for a few months.
And that's about all you can do. I mean, it really is, because you only have them for a short amount of time. You think about some of the portal guys, if they're one-year guys, they're really only there for, less than a calendar year. And so you really don't have as much time to develop them as you'd like. One thing about the putting the ball on the ground, the fumbles, there's no question, at least in my mind, when I look at what cost Arkansas in some of the games they lost, it was the fumbling. I'm always more concerned about fumbles than interceptions, because here's the thing: fumbles signify a total breakdown in the play. Oftentimes, I'm not saying every time, but oftentimes, the guy that puts the hat on the ball left unblocked, the strip sack that results in the fumble recovery, somebody missed a block. There are all kinds of things that go into this, and we tend to just say, well, it's all about ball security. It's about 3 points of pressure. It's about things that we've learned since we were in eighth grade.
Eagle claw, forearm, rib cage,
all that. All that stuff comes up anytime these things are discussed when it comes to fumbles. But I think when you lose a fumble, it's a total breakdown offensively. Sometimes with an interception, it's as simple as a bad read, which is going to happen. But I will certainly agree that getting the fumble issue taken care of is paramount. But I think there's more to it than just the ball carrier, and there's more to it than just coaching ball security every day practice.
877-377-6963. It has played a huge role in the season as well. Brent is in Searcy.
No question.
Brent, what's happening?
Have y'all got me today?
We do.
Right now, you got me?
Loud and clear.
I want to tell you, I got two things I want to say. I nearly swallowed my heater when that man from Searcy called in and said Hunter Yurchek was a better athletic director than Frank Roll.
Yeah, that was quite a statement.
Yeah, I mean, let's get real. What's Hunter Yurchek's done to bring the state together?
Well, I don't think we have a topic of comparing Broyles and Hunter Yurchek. Let's not turn this into it was just one man's opinion. That's fine.
And anybody that does has no sense of Arkansas athletics. That's all I'm going to say. Bo, but I could not agree with you more. With the statement you just said, was it discipline's out the window with college football right now? Is that what you said?
Well, it's just, I think, the most undisciplined year, given the circumstances of roster turnover. If we did the research, I think we'd find more penalties and turnovers than we've had on average everywhere. That doesn't absolve Arkansas of being worst in the country at fumbles. And I'm not saying that.
But I'm just wanting to say I agree with you 100%. Just look at this weekend, the fight at the end of the games. Come on now. It's just a game. I know you take it serious. I take it way too serious, but I would never want to get in a situation where I get maced by taking it serious. You know what I mean? Look at Michigan, Ohio State. It's just total lack of discipline in every aspect of college, at this level of college football. That's all I can say about that. And Chuck, what do you think about this game tonight with Miami?
Miami's kind of reeling a little bit. They won their first three, and they've lost 4 in a row, but they are at home. And, it's not like Arkansas's in midseason form yet either. So I think it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a good game, and I'm expecting it to be a close game tonight. But I guess we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it.
I saw Cal made a comment that it's continued to be difficult for Arkansas to get better in practice because they're still not completely healthy with 10 players. And they're kind of a work in progress. I just found that interesting, especially, with the idea of not recruiting or signing as many players in this new era. And it's just Arkansas has been a little unfortunate a lot unfortunate with the injury bug. I still don't think we've seen really the best of Nelly Davis. Obviously, Adu, not completely. I mean, they're just sort of shorthanded right now, and I'm interested to see how that develops, Chuck.
Well, I'm interested to see particularly how Adu develops. I think that that's a defending the pick and roll. I mean, having a presence inside, having a legitimate eraser on the back end. Adu's, when he was at Tennessee, he was just incredible. His wingspan, the way he could cover the floor defensively, he could do a lot of things. And I think having him back fully healthy, if that happens, will be a big boost. Hasn't happened yet, but no, I think there's probably something to that in terms of being able to practice. But I don't know that, for example, you're really going to be able to simulate what it's going to be like playing, Alabama or Auburn or Tennessee or some of these teams are going to play. I don't know that you can simulate it in practice with a backup center anyway. I think you need him out there, and so hopefully he'll be able to come on as we get toward conference play. There's when you look at the schedule over December, once you get through this week and next week, there's really not a lot of games. There's a 7th, and I guess you go to New York, you got Little Rock, then you play on I think the 21st and don't play again until the 30th, and then you got the conference opener at Tennessee. So A lot of the stuff that they're going to be doing to get better is going to be on the practice floor.
6 o'clock tip tonight, ESPN2, Hogs at Miami. We'll get back to your thoughts on the future of Razorback football as Sam Pittman undergoes hip surgery this morning, hip replacement surgery. Then almost immediately back in the office to make sure they're doing what they need to in the portal, as well as recruiting and really keeping the guys they want to keep on the roster. We'll get your reactions coming up. 877-377-6963. By the way, Malachi Singleton, the only player thus far over the last couple of days to enter the Arkansas or from Arkansas into the transfer portal. We're brought to you in part by Oaklawn. The college football playoff is here. The hunt for the NFL playoffs is heating up. Download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and sign up today. New customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Funding Oaklawn Sports is easy. Wager on outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, and game props. If you could name it, you can probably bet on it at the Oaklawn Sports app. Arkansas's best sporting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
The way you guys have fancied up the pig in the blanket, I mean, it's just, kolache now is part of my vocabulary.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
We are possibly entering what could be a golden age in Razorback athletics.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Are you ready to ride like a rock star? Then contact Luxury Limousines. Their 28-foot stretch limousines set up to 8 people. Once you're inside, enjoy superior sound, enhanced lighting, ice-cold AC, plus your own chauffeur to take you anywhere. College games, concerts, special events, and the upcoming Christmas holiday light tours. Just go to Facebook and like Luxury Limousine. Serving Fort Smith and all of Northwest Arkansas. Luxury Limousines.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter.
Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I remember Clay, when he wore shorts and hush puppies and drove a Honda Accord. Now he's got a truck with a rack on it, and he's like hitting deer and, living out in the country as a rural mountain man. Unbelievable. Hey, you hit a certain age, man, you hit that crisis, and there's no looking back.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
877.
Hey, let me bring something up about scheduling.
Do it.
Can I bring it back?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
my
I
microphone wasn't working right there.
I was like, where did he go?
Hey. Yeah, I know. You were talking about scheduling a minute ago. And next year's schedule. Do you realize that Texas has made the SEC championship game? They didn't play Tennessee. They didn't play Alabama. They didn't play LSU. They didn't play Ole Miss. They didn't play South Carolina. And they didn't play Missouri. And they're not going to have to play them next year either. Now, again, I know for some this is going to sound like excuse making. But what if Arkansas had played Kentucky in their last home game instead of Ole Miss? What if they'd played Florida at home before they turned it around at the end instead of having to play LSU? What if they'd played Oklahoma in Norman instead of Missouri in the snow in Columbia? I realize that, the schedule is what it is. But when people say everybody plays a tough schedule and scheduling doesn't matter, scheduling matters a lot. Again, just kind of take a look at some of the teams that didn't win as many, not just Arkansas, but take a look at some of the teams in our league that didn't quite get over the hump. And by that, I mean get to 500 or finish above 500. And then look at the schedules, not all of them, but some of them, of the teams that finish above you in the standings. And, I mean, it's just it's impossible. And I know it's Texas, and, we've got a bias against them, and I admit that. But it's just impossible to believe that a team could get to the SEC championship game without even playing Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, South Carolina, or Missouri. I mean, that it boggles my mind. But my point in all of this is scheduling matters.
100%. And we're seeing it play out in the playoffs. like the rankings and who's being considered and how much record actually matters. You can bring that back to Arkansas as part of the conversation, and nobody's saying that you love being 6-6, but the reality is the difference between 6-6 and 9-3 is you got to beat top 10 teams to get there, and that's the way it's going to continue to be moving forward. So how do things change? We'll get into that. How do things change? Nobody's celebrating mediocrity. It's really about, are you making progress? And what does progress look like now? Because things have changed, with the portal and all of that. We don't know what this team's exactly going to look like next year. But how do you change it beyond just changing coaches? Or is that the only answer?
13 Days of Deals starts now at Fayetteville Auto Park. There's never been a better time to buy. For the next 13 days only, everything is on sale, aggressively priced up front, based on the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor. Tons of pre-owned below $29,999, plus all your favorite new models: Honda, Acura, Toyota, Chevrolet, and more. Our biggest sales event ever. Now through November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy, this is it. Tons of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose. The deals of the year are here at Fayetteville Auto Park. We've got a great selection of pre-owned, many priced under $29,999, but only for a limited time. Closeout pricing means you save big on every new or pre-owned. What are you waiting for? You've only got a few days to lock in these limited time offers. Absolutely ends November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show, located on West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Online at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Pre-owned sale, all offers mutually exclusive, expires 11/30/24.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat Gnome Edge.
I like craft beer. I do. You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Finding your joy in cycling is the main goal at Champion Cycling. Champion Cycling takes pride in helping you find the right bike. Whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure, Champion Cycling has a great selection of bikes, including brands like Specialized Surly and Salsa. Need service or repair? The friendly, professionally trained technicians will assess your bike's needs and provide you with a free, no-obligation estimate. Find your joy in cycling at Champion Cycling, 5500 Mazur Road in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunshine, our high temperatures this afternoon into the middle 40s. We're not going to be quite as cold tonight. Overnight lows will drop down into the lower 30s. Sunny skies on Wednesday, high temperatures into the low to mid 50s, a chance of rain showers across the south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Robert, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. I should say it?
Say what?
Mom, I think he wants to say that it's Christmas time.
Okay, you can say it.
It's Christmas, everyone, and guess what, guys?
What?
Santa shop's here at the Stadium Shop. Oh, Lord, Mom, here comes that dad side. Nope, I saw him. Matt, you still do believe in Santa, right? Sure. Believers do get more presents.
Okay, so what did he get?
Let me guess, a couch for the elves, collars for the reindeer, maybe even a hoodie for Frosty. You know how cold he gets being made of snow and all.
And let me guess, some Razorback jewelry for Mrs. Claus?
Well, yeah, Matt, you better get that Google machine all warmed up. He said he was going to be ordering some more stuff.
Google machine?
Yeah, you know, the interfacegram www. I think he's talking about our website, which you should know by now, Dad. It's shoponrazorback.com.
Or have Santa give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
So come by 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville, and you just might catch Santa Hog. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Ho, ho, hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Thankfully, it's National Stress Awareness Day.
It is.
The day after the
It
election.
is. Give me one of your healthy
Yeah,
ways to
sounds
relieve
great.
stress. What's one of your techniques, Bart?
Yoga.
Oh, my God.
Jeez. Yoga was not what I had on my bingo card. I shoot whiskey. I do drugs. I run. I go in the woods and shoot my rifle. Yoga was not what I was expecting. I mean, he could have said anything.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Oh, man. 23 feels like 27 from the world headquarters of the Chuck and Bo Show. Chuck, how's the weather in Miami?
Well, the sun's up. It's I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 60 degrees right now.
Oh, that's one I'm going to have to look up on the
It's not
AccuWeather
exactly
app.
tropical. Yeah, what does it say on the app?
I'm going right to the AccuWeather app. Thing about Miami, it's such a big city. I'm going to have to go to Coral Gables to get a real accurate. Oh, it's 60 degrees. It's 60. 60 right on the button.
My sense of temperature is incredible.
Oh,
isn't it?
it is. How are your directions, by the way? Do you know just what, like, you just point that vehicle in the correct direction, or is that a struggle?
I can get around in cities fairly well if I if I know the general direction. Houston would be the one exception, but if I know the general direction, I can get around.
It's 8:04. The phone lines are open, 877-377-6963. I'm a big fan of directional apps, Google Maps, Waze.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I need all the help I can get. We will not bore you to tears with the days we had to print out MapQuest and try to, we talk about distracted driving now. What about when we had the Atlas?
Road Atlas, I was just about to say.
I get it.
Rand McNally Road Atlas.
Right. You pull over to a gas station, do they have one? Gosh, we're old. 877.
Well, if you're
Go ahead.
If you're old enough to remember your dad, you pulled over to the side of the road and he pulled the map out. Pull the map out.
That's right.
Of the
Yeah, yeah. And look at the route he had previously highlighted.
Where the heck are we?
You can text or call. It's 877-377-6963. We got 1,000 text messages. I don't even know which direction to go with some of these, and maybe we'll get into it. But one of the questions, Bart, you posed this. And actually, why don't you explain to me again for others your thoughts on the idea of mediocrity and whether it's being celebrated or not, and when we give all this, sort of what we think is insight to the historical data and what Arkansas deals with and what the challenges they have to overcome. And sometimes it just sounds like we're just apologizing for the program and, you're going to just have to be happy with 6-6. That's not what we're trying to do. So apparently we're lousy communicators to some people. Well, but I think you had a salient point.
Yeah, I think it's, people understand, fans understand at their core what this program has been since joining the SEC, right? There have been really good moments, there have been really bad moments, and most of the time it's been somewhere in between, right? I think that's fair to say. And I think people understand that. I think what's happened is the last decade or so of Razorback football, people have just gotten really fed up with the way things have gone, and that's totally understandable. And so people are getting tired of hearing about how hard it's been for the Razorbacks, how tough it's been. They're just tired of hearing it. They know.
Got it. Yeah.
They know.
I understand.
And so, taking the next step in the conversation of, okay, well, how do you change it then? How do you change it? How do you take a program that has been this in the SEC and elevate it to where you have more of the moments like you had with Bobby Petrino, like you had with Houston Nutt, even, Sam Pittman, 9-win season, Brett Bielema had a good season or two. How do you have more of those moments rather than few of those moments? And there are programs in college football that have done that have elevated their program from an afterthought in the world of college football to being really, really good. Oregon is the best example of this, I think. Oregon was not a good football program for a very, very long time. Mike Bellotti came in, started recruiting. Oregon doesn't have a built-in recruiting base. Arkansas doesn't have a built-in recruiting base. Oklahoma State's another example. They weren't anything until Les Miles got there. Nothing. They were terrible. Les Miles and Mike Gundy have changed it. Right coach, right time, evaluating talent. There are all these things that go into it, but I think that's the conversation, right? Is how does Arkansas do that?
Right. And that's where we get to is it only the coach?
Right.
And that's what we continue to talk about. And I think we talked about it, weeks ago, where it's okay, give me a solution. Just challenge yourself to give me a solution beyond the coach, because it's just the easiest thing to say and what we all run to. Regardless of where you are it's that's the answer. And to Chuck's point, we've been changing coaches for years. Hadn't really changed the overall direction. So what's another answer?
When you look at how we hired Bobby Petrino as the head coach, if you look back, and I say we, I'm obviously using the collective we there. If you look at the way Arkansas hired Bobby Petrino and how it happened, it wasn't as though there was this, hey, we're zeroing in on Bobby Petrino and we're in talks with Bobby Petrino Bobby Petrino's agent contacted Arkansas and said he's getting out of the NFL. Let's not forget, 24 hours before he was introduced at Arkansas, he was coaching on Monday Night Football for the Falcons. So I'm not suggesting he necessarily dropped in Arkansas's lap, but, he kind of dropped in Arkansas's lap. And so when you look at how the coaching searches have gone post-Broyles in football, they've been, there've just been names there that just kind of totally came out of the blue. Brett Bielema's name just came totally out of the blue. I'd never heard of Chad Morris before Chad Morris became, I knew of him after people talked about him being the coach at SMU, but I didn't know he'd been the OC at Clemson, and I follow college football pretty closely. The hiring, when we've had to go out and hunt, that's the part that's not gone very well.
The other part about, if you want to look at things that have been here when it goes well, great in-state recruiting classes. And again, we're in a totally different era right now. But the other thing that happened when Petrino got here is he had a great crop of in-state recruits. Tim Horton had gone out, held it all together, and they had a bunch of great players. And we could list them off. We know who they are. But some of the best times Arkansas has had in the SEC have been generational talents out of our state. And I'll name two, like Matt Jones. You just don't get a guy like Matt Jones, especially at that time. And I know he wasn't like the world's greatest passer, but man, he was prolific. And then you get Darren McFadden, D-Mac, the GOAT. And when you look at Houston Nutt's best years, those two things happen. Other things happen too. I'm not simply saying those are the only things. But great players make great coaches. How do you get great players to Arkansas? And how do you get great players in today's world to not leave in the transfer portal, or players that can help you win? So one of the things, and this is what's so interesting to me about this conversation, is the people, and I listen to other shows. I'm not one of these, I don't listen to anybody. I want to hear what everybody's got to say. And the phone lines are always open. For all the keyboard warriors out there, the phone lines are open. Call and have a conversation. Like, how do we get better in this state? Beyond just the lazy answer of fire the coach. How do you get better players here? Oh, you just hire a great coach? Oh, then all the players just come. You really think if Kirby Smart's the coach here, that nobody's going to Georgia and they're coming to Arkansas now? It just doesn't quite work like that. I'm not saying coaching doesn't have anything to do with it. Obviously it does. But I don't hear from people. This is how the Arkansas program gets better beyond we got to change coaches. Do you? Am I missing it? Are people saying it? Are they gift wrapping the answer and Hunter Yurachek is over there just stiff arming them? Like, what's the answer? Like, we're all for it. We're not here going, yeah, hey, congratulations. What a great, unbelievable 6-6 year. That's awesome. No, we're saying, hey, there's been progress made. And we have offered on this show, I think, a solution, which is some continuity, some consistency. Like, how do you keep your coordinators? If you think you got good ones, do you need to up T. Will and Bobby Petrino, or give them a year contract extension so the players that are on the roster want to stay? Like, does that sound like a solution? Or do you rip the whole thing wide open and start, like, throwing darts again? Is that the solution? What is it? 877-377-6963. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. 813. We're brought to you in part by Yuengling. Flight by Yuengling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends but craft them. 2.6 grams of carbs, 95 calories, 4.2% ABV. This is premium refreshment, 6 generations in the making. It tastes like a Yuengling, but it's a light beer. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
Chuck and Bo, it's always an honor and pleasure to be with you. You know I don't do a lot of these, of course, of my season.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank you all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank you all.
Christmas shopping is easy at Jelco Outdoors with so many great gift ideas for those on your shopping list. Save 25% off all Yeti and Yukon Outfitter ice chests, coolers, tumblers, and cups. A large selection of the footwear and clothing for work to the woods, archery, hunting, and fishing gear for those that enjoy the great outdoors. If in doubt, a Jelco gift card is always a perfect fit. Jelco Outdoors, your one-stop Christmas shopping destination store. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. And Merry Christmas from Jelco Outdoors.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Robert, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. I should say it?
Say what?
Mom, I think he wants to say that it's Christmas time.
Okay, you can say it.
It's Christmas, everyone, and guess what, guys?
What?
Santa shop's here at the Stadium Shop. Oh, Lord, Mom, here comes that dad side. Nope, I saw him. Matt, you still do believe in Santa, right? Sure. Believers do get more presents.
Okay, so what did he get?
Let me guess, a couch for the elves, collars for the reindeer, maybe even a hoodie for Frosty. You know how cold he gets being made of snow and all.
And let me guess, some Razorback jewelry for Mrs. Claus?
Well, yeah, Matt, you better get that Google machine all warmed up. He said he was going to be ordering some more stuff.
Google machine?
Yeah, you know, the Interfacegram WW. I think he's talking about our website, which you should know by now, Dad. It's shoponrazorback.com.
Or have Santa give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
So come by 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville, and you just might catch Santa Hog. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Ho, ho, hogs.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Chuck and I didn't talk for 4 years.
That's right.
And I was trying to find his email, and sure enough, it was there.
Last text I sent to Bo like 5 years
Right
ago.
before COVID.
Popped up.
Right before COVID. We didn't even check on each other after COVID.
It said, "Don't call me ever again," but I ignored that. I ignored that and called him back.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think I'm going to invite Chuck over for, like, I don't know, some sort of holiday feast or something. Maybe a movie.
Ooh. A little holiday movie?
What do you think, Chuck? You want to spend the holidays together? Oh. Dead silent. He's probably got in trouble for being too loud again in his room. Chuck's doing the show at a hotel room in Miami, and he's got noise complaints, which is classic. 877-377-6963. He's probably out in the hallway talking to the manager right now. Melvin and Sheridan, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Will you ask a solution or maybe a help or whatever?
Sure.
I don't understand why Arkansas football does not, the football staff or the football team do not have, they're not working with the Arkansas high school coaches. We got to get the high school program up feeding the Razorbacks, and I think having clinics, get-togethers, anything you can do to open up the pipeline of even running some schemes. Get that continuity you're talking about. If you understand what I'm saying.
I do, and
right.
and go ahead.
But what did you do, hang up on me?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just made that noise. Now, what I'm asking is okay, the Pee Wee football in Sheridan and most little places, they start out running the high school simple play, so to speak.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I just don't. I don't think it's realistic to think that all the high school programs are going to run Arkansas scheme.
Well, they don't have to run it exactly, but the ones that wanted to give their kids an extra boost and advantage of learning Arkansas stuff. I just cannot believe Arkansas cannot put 22 kids out there on that football field helping the University of Arkansas. I travel the state of Arkansas. There's athletes from one end to the other, and if you got a closed mind and you don't want to try to get those people involved, we ain't never going to be worth a salt. And that's all I got to think about it. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Melvin. Appreciate the call. I will say that relationship with high school coaches is always an important one. Whether they run the schemes, I don't know.
It certainly is. And it would be nice. Hey, I mean, it would be nice if everybody ran the same scheme, but that's not realistic. When you look at Arkansas right now, you look at the way the high school game's played, and I won't pretend that I've got a deep understanding of it, but I do look at the scores every week. There's a lot of games in the 50s. There's games where they get up in the 60s. I've seen some during the regular season where somebody even scores 70. When you really stop and look at a lot of you were talking about generational players earlier. We're talking about offensive players. It'd be nice to have a few generational defensive players, game wreckers, that, come out of your state. We tend to focus on offensive systems and offensive schemes, and evidently there's some pretty good ones out there because teams aren't stopping anybody. I mean, you got 100 combined points in a 48-minute game. So nobody's playing much defense, it doesn't look to me like, when I look at the scores.
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying, but I think it's the same on both sides of the ball.
I thought Houston Nutt did a really good job. And again, it's just a totally different world right now of getting good athletes and making them good defensive players. Whether it was Tony Bua or Eddie Jackson, you could go on and on of guys that might have been a running back. And they came here. Jamal Anderson was a wide receiver.
Jamal Anderson's the one. Yeah, he's the one that you remember. Sure.
He did but again, you don't get to develop players anymore. I mean, Chuck, I worry a little bit about what does this do for high school kids coming out going to college? Because even if you pick a school and you say, I'm going to go there and I'm going to spend my 4 years there, and then by year 2, somebody's recruiting you off the roster. And then you go there and do you really get to fully develop, or are you just bouncing around? I mean, I just wonder what the game we're just entering this now. This is sort of new, like this transfer thing where it's like you can go somewhere one year and somewhere else the next year. What's it going to look like 5 to 7 years from now? This new crop of players coming in.
I'm not sure. The one thing that I've noticed, and every week, and I do it by hand because I'm old school, I fill out my spotting boards, and that includes height, weight, hometown, where they went to school before they went to the school where they're playing now. Missouri was a prime example, and there are lots of other schools, Louisiana, kids that leave the state to go play somewhere else and come back home. And, we've talked some this morning about in-state talent and developing those in-state players. Some of those guys that go other places may end up coming back home. But it's hard to know, for me anyway, what the portal's going to look like, because common sense would tell you that over a period of time, people will begin to realize the grass is not always greener on the other side. But, we've been fighting that as a human race since the beginning of the human race, so I don't know that that's going to change. But I'm struck by how many players go away and then come back to their home state school before it's over. As I said, Missouri's roster was just full of them.
Let's go back to the phones. Greenbrier, we find Chad. Chad, good morning.
Morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Hey, man, great.
Keeping with the topic and talking about in-state talent, what in-state kid has gone to another school that's just lighting the world on fire right now?
I don't know.
Who's Arkansas missed out on? We keep having this discussion, but I can't think of anybody.
I don't know anybody off the top of my head. I think Drake Lindsay will do well at Minnesota. I think it was controversial that they didn't take him as a quarterback. But you know what? Bart made a point in the Situation Room, as we go live to the Situation Room, that there's Arkansas quarterback-wise. And look, I know Taylon Green brings polarizing opinions, but I think you can see Taylon Green's upside when he plays well. You've also seen the downside, but Taylon Green, I think, will have people after him this year. They're already after him this year at big-time programs. But if you look at the quarterbacks behind him, Malachi Singleton, who just entered the transfer portal, said he'll put his name in when it opens up next week, is a 4-star. KJ Jackson is a decorated high school player that people have high hopes for as a college quarterback. So it's not like they don't have good enough quarterbacks here. And people keep asking us about Kane Archer. Well, and nothing against Kane Archer, but Arkansas's got a commitment from the Conway quarterback, who's an Army All-American player.
Grayson Wilson in this year's class, the class of 2025. He's expected to sign with the Razorbacks when the early signing period opens. And then Javon Gilmore in the 26 class, who a lot of recruiting services have ranked higher than Kane Archer. So, Bobby Petrino's going out and getting the quarterbacks that he wants to run his system. Either you think Bobby Petrino, so many people think Bobby Petrino is the greatest thing since sliced bread and the savior of the Razorback football program and the offense and everything. But then you're talking about he's not going out and getting this quarterback. Well, he's got these quarterbacks that he wants to run his system. So, what's your problem?
Well, the problem is, if we want to boil it down to, it's just not a sexy conversation.
Right.
It's the offensive line.
Right.
And how do you put together, it's like women's basketball. Okay, here's the thing about women's basketball. There just aren't a ton of great players. You're not going to have a bunch of great women's college basketball teams. There's just not as many players that rise to that level. Linemen, you have a similar issue. And the best linemen are going to the biggest programs that are having the most success. I'm not saying you can't get a line, but they're trying to build it through the portal. And what's that continuity like? And the most important thing for an offensive line, if you followed sports, if you followed football, you've heard this year, is combined starts among the offensive line. Usually leads to the best offensive lines, along with really talented players. And finding those guys, we all act like it's easy. Pittman's an offensive line guru. He's a head coach now. He's evaluating linemen. He's trying to recruit them. But it's a really challenging task.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at those seasons, we talk about these seasons where Arkansas has jumped up and been really successful, whether it's 98 or 06 or 2010, 2011, whatever it is, the common denominator in all those years is that Arkansas had a really good offensive line, and those offensive lines were built on kids from the state of Arkansas and the state of Texas. Really high-quality offensive linemen at the SEC level. We haven't seen that.
The other thing is, this is the best defensive line league, bar none, in the country.
Yeah, 100%.
So when you if you want to geek out and really have this conversation, I mean, this is where it is. You play the best defensive lines in the country. You play the NFL guys in college football. These guys on defensive lines in this league at the top 10 programs they're like first-round draft picks. And so if you don't have a really good offensive line, which, again, is really hard to get, you get exposed pretty poorly. I mean, pretty quickly. And that's the game. Again, so that's inside the look at the difference between winning 6 and 9 games. South Carolina just happens to have a really good front seven this year and a really good quarterback. Really good quarterback. That's a freshman. I mean, that's how they just won 6 straight games. 8:31 on the Chuck and Bo Show. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, and Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company.
What do you think Brian and Ozark was doing under the full moon? I have a vision of some peyote, a tailgate, and a Keystone Light.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn
I don't know where I was talking and all of a sudden it just went away.
Yeah, get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat Gnome Edge. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what my time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Touchdown, Arkansas! We fought back. We took a punch, and we answered back. He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Brad Tyson and their entire team are so thankful this time of year during the holidays. We appreciate all of our customers that enjoy the beverage bar at Boonville, the hot food at Phoenix, and the deli at Jam Mart number 10. We know you're loving the updated pumps at our gas stations, and we're continuing to strive to find new creative ways to improve every single day. If you love Jam Mart, please leave us a 5-star review on Google. Happy holidays from your friends at Jam Mart.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, body
Hey,
work,
I'm not standing for you guys right
that is
now. Mic check,
unsurpassed
1,
in
2, 3,
talent
4,
and
5.
dedication.
1, 2,
Owner
3,
Andy
4,
Harry uses the
5.
latest in collision
Yeah,
repair
you sound
technology
bad.
to
Mic
ensure
check,
all
1, 2,
damage
3,
is
4,
addressed,
5.
whether it's
Still
visible
sketchy.
or hidden, and works with
Okay.
all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have
Let me
the
go to a
experience
different,
and commitment to give you complete
disconnect,
trust in the
reconnect.
repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Robert, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. I should say it?
Say what?
Mom, I think he wants to say that it's Christmas time.
Okay, you can say it.
It's Christmas, everyone, and guess what, guys?
What?
Santa shop's here at the Stadium Shop. Oh, Lord, Mom, here comes that dad side. Nope, I saw him. Matt, you still do believe in Santa, right? Sure. Believers do get more presents.
Okay, so what did he get?
Let me guess, a couch for the elves, collars for the reindeer, maybe even a hoodie for Frosty. You know how cold he gets being made of snow and all.
And let me guess, some Razorback jewelry for Mrs. Claus?
Well, yeah, Matt, you better get that Google machine all warmed up. He said he was going to be ordering some more stuff.
Google machine?
Yeah, you know, the interfacegram www. I think he's talking about our website, which you should know by now, Dad. It's shoponrazorback.com.
Or have Santa give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
So come by 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville, and you just might catch Santa Hog. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Ho, ho, hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I was 6 years old. We played with a legendary quarterback, Joe fucking Ferguson. 34-7. We sent him back to home.
I thought he went all the way. I didn't think it was a check swing. I didn't think it was a check swing. I thought he went around.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know, we're talking about solutions to having a better football program, which is always interesting to hear, just the complaints. And I get it, and it's fine because nobody loves being 6-6. We want to be winners. Everybody wants to win. Totally get it. What's the solution beyond just firing a coach? Also, there's this discussion about fumbling and Arkansas leading the country in fumbles. So what happens if they don't lead the country in fumbles this year? What happens if they didn't put the ball on the ground as much as they did? So if we want to simplify, if you don't fumble the ball as many times as Arkansas did this year, what is their record? 7 wins? 8 wins? How many games changed on a hit on the quarterback or a fumble or a ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, which technically is an interception like the LSU game? Game changed right there. If you're Hunter Yurachek, these are the kind of things you evaluate. You're like, are we really that far away? South Carolina 9-3, a playoff contender. Arkansas 6-6 with 30 fumbles. So then we go, well, that's coaching. Okay. You really believe that? You really believe that Arkansas is just not teaching ball security? You really believe that they're not over there trying to whack the ball out of the running back's arm every day at practice in a drill, like every other team in the country? So things happen. But is the solution, yep, you don't have a coach that has enough discipline. That's why you fumbled 30 times. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking the question for today because I think the discussion is interesting when it comes to solutions on where you want to go as a program. And the only solution, we open the phone lines up today. Like, I don't get solutions from people. I just get fire the coach. There's just more to it. That's all. It's not celebrating mediocrity. There's just more to it. 877-377-6605. 69-63. And Chuck, I thought your point about defense was fantastic. What did you say? The Bart in the Situation Room. What's the stat on defenses?
Yeah, so this really interesting and tells you pretty much everything you need to know. In Arkansas's first 15 years in the SEC, the Razorbacks produced 26 NFL draft picks on defense. In the 16 years since, they've only produced 15 defensive players in the NFL draft. That's it right there. That's the ball game. In this league, offensive line and defense. And Arkansas has not been good enough on defense, period. Or at least not produced good enough defensive players, had good enough defensive players, period, to compete in this league. That's it.
Style of football has changed at the high school level. It's changed in Arkansas. If you went to a high school game 30 years ago,
Chuck,
go to a high school game now.
Turn him down. We got his signal went away again. I hate it too because he's got good stuff to say. Chuck's in Miami, about to call the game tonight. ESPN2, by the way, Miami hosting the Razorbacks in basketball. He'll have the call with Z, but that hotel they're staying in, that swanky hotel, the internet's just been a problem today for our transmission of the show. Just part of the challenges of taking things on the road. Now, as a listener, if I'm you, I would just fire us both because we're fumbling. So get rid of it. Just get rid of us both. We're fumbling today. I joke. I got jokes.
Wes in Bentonville just texted in. Bart is so wrong. Our defense has been the only reason we even have 6 wins this season. Wes, did you not listen
on defense?
Did you not listen to what I was saying? I wasn't talking about this season.
We haven't had a draft this year.
The defense has been admirable this year. I think Travis Williams is a phenomenal defensive coordinator and one of the best that Arkansas's coaches on defense, Travis Williams, Barry Odom, that's not been the issue. I'm talking about the last 16 years. I'm not talking about this year. The defense overall has not produced good enough players or had good enough players to compete at the SEC level on a year-in and year-out basis like it used to.
You know, some of this...
That's all.
Some of this just also
not about this year.
Shows you all the layers that there are to the whole thing. I mean, you can't always have the best defense or draft picks on defense. Can't always have the best offensive line. You got to have some of it, like to really compete. I'm just going to go back to this because I think it's really interesting that Arkansas is 6-6 with leading the league or leading the country in fumbles. Is it too simplistic to say that if they didn't have as many fumbles, that they would have a better record? And would people have the same conversation today that they're having, which is we got to have a change in leadership? This is not getting it done. We're 6-6. That's not good enough. Don't tell me about improvement. We're 6-6. It's not good enough. Like, if you're Hunter Yurachek and you're evaluating it and you realize the last time this job was open, nobody wanted it. Like, just call it what it was. Sam Pittman came here because he wanted the job. Like, you couldn't find anybody that you would have wanted to hire that wanted the job. I heard somebody say something about Drinkwitz the other day. People get this wrong all the time. Eli Drinkwitz went to Missouri instead of Arkansas. Lane Kiffin went to Ole Miss instead of Arkansas. They both could have come here. They chose to go somewhere else. You know why? Because they thought it was easier to win there. And that's where coaches want to go. So how do you fix it? How do you change it? That's what we're talking about. And I'm not just telling you the problems. I'm just giving you the reality.
And that's where it comes back to, like, I think people underestimate how far back the Chad Morris era set Razorback football.
Well, I mean, you've had a couple of these moments.
Right.
You had the John L. Smith fiasco.
Yeah.
And that set it back, and you had to kind of build it with Bielema. And then the Chad Morris.
That set
those are things that take a minute to recover from.
The worst
at
years.
At least in the past where you didn't have transfer portal.
Correct. But it's hard to have any. There was no foundation to the program at all at that point.
877-377-6963. We'll get back to the phones in a second. It's National World Trick Shot Day. So give it a try. Just take a video and send it to Chive TV. We're Dude Perfect. Also, National Day of Giving. National Day of Giving. Let's just take a step back and give a little bit today. It's the Chuck and Bo Show, 844. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach. I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
This holiday season, give a gift that sparkles brighter than ever. A diamond from Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, premier destination for diamonds in Northwest Arkansas. At Blakeman's, we don't just help you find the perfect diamond, we guide you through the journey, teaching you everything you need to know to make the most meaningful choice. Whether it's for a proposal under the mistletoe, or a holiday anniversary, or simply a way to say I love you. Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a woo big shirt. They don't bleed hog red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Aaron, what's going on this month?
We have new Polaris units on our lot, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 Polarises that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Are you ready to ride like a rock star? Then contact Luxury Limousines. Their 28-foot stretch limousines set up to 8 people. Once you're inside, enjoy superior sound, enhanced lighting, ice-cold AC, plus your own chauffeur to take you anywhere. College games, concerts, special events, and the upcoming Christmas holiday light tours. Just go to Facebook and like Luxury Limousine. Serving Fort Smith and all of Northwest Arkansas. Luxury Limousines.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Robert, and we're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. I should say it?
Say what?
Mom, I think he wants to say that it's Christmas time.
Okay, you can say it.
It's Christmas, everyone, and guess what, guys?
What?
Santa shop's here at the Stadium Shop. Oh, Lord, Mom, here comes that dad side. Nope, I saw him. Matt, you still do believe in Santa, right? Sure. Believers do get more presents.
Okay, so what did he get?
Let me guess, a couch for the elves, collars for the reindeer, maybe even a hoodie for Frosty. You know how cold he gets being made of snow and all.
And let me guess, some Razorback jewelry for Mrs. Claus?
Well, yeah, Matt, you better get that Google machine all warmed up. He said he was going to be ordering some more stuff.
Google machine?
Yeah, you know, the interfacegram www. I think he's talking about our website, which you should know by now, Dad. It's shoponrazorback.com.
Or have Santa give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
So come by 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville, and you just might catch Santa Hog. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us. Ho, ho, hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the
Oh, well, now I think I know what was said there. Chuck thought Eddie said it, and then Mike Tyson really did.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some PTSD right there, man. We just get rid of that. That was a day on the show. Chuck's in Miami to call the game tonight. We have cut him loose because the internet security has fumbled, as one text put it. Hey, we're brought to you in part by the Sweat and Imagine. Let me tell you about this real quick. If you're tired, lethargic, you just don't feel very great. Like you're always trying to make yourself feel a little better. You're using caffeine or whatever to do that. There is a move you can make that changes the game for you, and it's free to get evaluated. The Sweatnum Edge gives you a free evaluation. Go to SweatnumCosmetic.com. Get evaluated, not just on your testosterone or hormone level, but really your labs that can kind of indicate to you, like, okay, this is what's happening with me, and here's a game plan to feel better. SweatnumCosmetic.com. It's the Sweatnum Edge. Go to SweatnumCosmetic.com. Just click up top on the Sweatnum Edge. Chuck and I have both done it. We're better off for it. Look and feel better with the Sweatnum Edge. Mike is in Goshen. Mike, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Chuck and Bart. Sorry, guys. Cold outside. Hey, Bo, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Bo and Bart. Yep. We're rolling with the B team today.
Everybody get out and vote in that runoff today.
Is that today? Yeah, okay. All right, get out and vote.
Offer up prayers for Coach Pittman, surgery and a rapid recovery.
Absolutely.
And high school football, we've got a bunch of Northwest Arkansas teams going to the state semifinals and finals this coming Friday and Saturday, I guess. And how about those other one of their 9 lives?
The Chiefs.
It's crazy. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the NFL that well. Like, I don't watch all the games. I do take an interest in the Chiefs. I wonder if finding all these ways to win means that they're not quite good enough at the end, or it means they're absolutely good enough because they're finding all these ways to win. Philadelphia looks really good. I mean, I think the Ravens are just always a tough out. But yeah, the Chiefs, man, they just keep finding. How many walk-off wins do they have? They've won on like 5 or 6 last possession wins.
I think it's 5 this year.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree though, Bo. Like, part of you thinks that, man, that's not sustainable. That's going to bite them in the playoffs. And on the other hand, you're like, well, I mean, they just keep finding ways to win. Bills also really good. Man, I'll tell you, the Broncos surprisingly good this year. Bo Nix, who saw that coming? They beat the Browns.
I still can't believe that Jameis Winston threw for almost 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 2 pick sixes to lose the game for the Browns last night against the Broncos in a game that you think the Browns are going to win, were it not for 2 pick sixes. An otherwise incredible performance.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
It's
incredible.
I understand.
I feel you, man.
I do.
I feel you.
Let your request be made known, man.
I know I'm better than this. I know. I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes.
500 yards passing.
I'm praying for the Lord to deliver Chuck some better internet.
Right. And again, not having fun with the faith aspect. Certainly respect that. It's the goofiness of Jameis Winston that continues to deliver.
Right.
I mean, he's just
gift that keeps on giving.
One of a kind. He's also playing great.
Yeah, he's playing really well this year.
I have fun watching him.
He should be the quarterback for the Browns next year. I don't think that's a stretch to say.
Got a question out of the 479. Who sets the schedule in football? So the school sets the non-conference schedule. They pick the teams they want to play. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds. You got to go find teams that want to play you. You got to pay some of them to come play you. Then you try to get like a home and home. So next year they're going to play Notre Dame, which in a game that was supposed to happen a couple of years ago and got delayed.
This game was always
okay. So
in 2025.
It
was from 2020. The COVID year, Arkansas was scheduled to play at Notre Dame. That game got bumped down the road. That's coming up in a few years.
So who's on the schedule for Arkansas in 2025?
The same SEC opponents as this year, just flipped. Although A&M will be at Razorback Stadium, Notre Dame at Memphis, Arkansas State in Little Rock, and then Alabama A&M.
Oh. Best wishes to Sam Pittman coming out of hip replacement surgery. Malachi Singleton is the only player announcing this week that he's headed to the transfer portal, which probably indicates that Taylon Green is staying, and maybe Bobby Petrino. So what does that mean to the rest of the players on offense? Are you going to have receivers back? Are you going to have tight ends back? Yes or no? We're going to be watching that. A couple of defensive players, Sorey and Ball, already saying they're staying. Chuck and Bo show back tomorrow. Have a great day.
There's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA. There's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Scion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street.